What if your thoughts weren't just fleeting mental activity, but energetic codes influencing the reality around you? We often imagine thinking as a private, isolated process happening within the confines of the brain. But modern research in neuroscience and quantum physics is revealing a far more profound truth. Your thoughts are electromagnetic patterns, vibrations that ripple far beyond your skull. They interact with the field of energy that underlies all matter. In other words, you're not just thinking, you're broadcasting. Every belief you hold, every story you repeat in your mind carries an energetic frequency. And just like a computer program, these thoughts form the code that instructs how reality takes shape around you. The challenge is, most of us are running outdated code, loops of fear, self-doubt, scarcity, and limitation, often inherited from past experiences or cultural conditioning. We wake up each day and unknowingly upload the same mental script, reinforcing the same emotional patterns and attracting similar outcomes because life is fixed, but because our signal hasn't changed. And here's the twist. It's not just the thought that matters, it's the emotional charge behind it. Emotion acts like a carrier wave, amplifying the energy of the thought. That's why thinking, I am successful while feeling unworthy doesn't reprogram reality, it sends a mixed, incoherent signal. Your mind is like a transmitter. It emits a signal shaped by focus, emotion, and meaning. The clearer and more coherent your internal broadcast, the more likely the universe, this intelligent, responsive field, mirrors it back to you in the form of experiences, opportunities, or synchronicities. You are programming reality whether you're aware of it or not. The only question is, what code are you running? Is your inner dialogue aligned with trust, creativity, and expansion, or rooted in fear, control, and survival? The most transformative realization is that you don't need to control every thought. You simply need to become aware of the dominant frequency you are emitting over time. That frequency, the emotional and mental tone you return to again and again, is what shapes your world. In the next part, we'll explore how your thoughts are physically encoded in your brain and why repetition builds the neural and energetic structures that become your reality. You're not just living in a world, you're helping to generate it, moment by moment. To understand how your thoughts program reality, we need to zoom in on your brain and the patterns it repeats. Every time you think a thought, a specific network of neurons in your brain fires. When you think that thought repeatedly, those same neurons fire again and again. This is known in neuroscience as neurons that fire together, wire together. Over time, they form pathways, mental habits that shape how you perceive and respond to the world. Think of it like laying down a track in a forest. The more you walk the same path, the more defined and automatic it becomes. And just like software running in the background of a computer, these mental loops begin to operate without your conscious awareness. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Your thoughts don't just create mental patterns, they create energetic patterns. Your brain emits electromagnetic waves, and your heart, the body's most powerful electrical organ, responds to your emotional state. Together, they create a signal that the world around you responds to. These patterns become the hidden code you transmit. If your dominant thoughts are, I can't, I'm not enough, or life is hard, you're not just thinking pessimistically, you're emitting frequencies that reinforce and attract similar experiences. The universe isn't punishing you. It's responding to the signal you're unconsciously broadcasting. That's why change often feels hard. It's not because transformation is impossibly, because the old code is still running. The good news These neural and energetic patterns are not fixed. Your brain has plasticity, and your energy field is dynamic. You can rewrite the script, but it requires more than just positive thinking. It requires emotional alignment. The thoughts you want to believe must be supported by a felt sense of trust, gratitude, or inspiration. Without that emotional current, the thought lacks power. It's like trying to play a song with no sound. So how do you start shifting these codes? It begins with awareness. What stories are on repeat in your mind? What emotions fuel them? And most importantly, are they creating the version of reality you truly want to live? In the next part, we'll dive deeper into how emotion acts as the energetic amplifier behind thought, and how combining intention with elevated feeling becomes the most powerful programming language of all. If thoughts are the code, then emotion is the voltage behind it. It's the energetic force that gives your thoughts power, direction, and influence. You can think the most inspiring thought in the world, but if it's not backed by a genuine, emotional charge, it's like sending out a weak signal that barely reaches beyond your own mind. This is why emotion is not just important, it's essential. It acts as the carrier wave for your thoughts, transmitting your internal state into the electromagnetic field around you. Without it, your intentions remain mental concepts rather than embodied frequencies. Take this example. You say, "I am abundant," but if underneath that statement you feel anxious, doubtful, or afraid, your body is broadcasting confusion. The signal becomes fragmented. The field intelligence system that mirrors your state responds, not just to the words, but to the emotional signature behind them. Now flip the scenario. Imagine holding the thought, "I am abundant," and pairing it with genuine appreciation for what you already have. Then, if it's modest, you relax. Your nervous system shifts from stress to openness. Your heart rhythm becomes more coherent. This state is no longer just a thought, it's a frequency. And frequencies don't lie. That's the difference between hoping and embodying. Hope often carries with it a hidden layer of lack. I want this because I don't yet have it. But embodiment says, this is already who I am becoming. One transmits scarcity. The other broadcasts alignment. Here's the key. The field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you consistently feel and believe to be real. That emotional consistency is what reprograms your energetic blueprint. And with repetition, your nervous system begins to recognize this elevated state as safe, familiar, and even preferable. So if you want to change the outer experience, start with your inner chemistry. Practice generating emotions like gratitude, trust, or joy, not as a way to escape your current reality, but to recalibrate your signal. Emotion is not a side effect of change, it's the driver of it. In the next part, we'll explore how coherence between the mind, heart, and body strengthens your signal and why alignment matters more than intensity when it comes to reprogramming reality. If your thoughts are the code and your emotions are the amplifier, then coherence is what makes the entire system work. Without it, your internal broadcast becomes static, scrambled signals that confuse the field around you. But when your mind, heart, and body are in harmony, you create a signal so clear that reality has no choice but to respond. So what is coherence? Simply put, it's a state of internal alignment when your thoughts, emotions, and physiological state are synchronized. Your heart rhythm becomes smooth and rhythmic. Your brainwaves stabilize. Your nervous system shifts out of survival mode and into a place of openness and creativity. In this state, your intentions become magnetic. This isn't a spiritual idea to measurable science. Research from institutions like HeartMath has shown that when we feel genuine emotions like appreciation or love, our heart emits a more coherent electromagnetic field. That field can be measured several feet away from the body, and it carries information about our emotional state. Your brain also contributes to this signal. When you focus your attention with purpose, especially when that focus is paired with emotion, your brain waves synchronize in a process known as phase locking. When the heart and brain are in sync, the resulting field is strong, stable, and influential. This is the language the universe responds to, not just wishful thinking or repeated affirmations, but a vibrational signal grounded in coherence. It's not about forcing outcomes or pretending to be positive all the time. It's about becoming internally ordered so your outer reality can begin to reflect that order. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you're even slightly off frequency, the music comes through with static. But once you fine-tune the dial to the exact frequency, the sound becomes clear. Your internal signal works the same way. The more coherent you are, the clearer the music of your life becomes. When your inner state is chaotic, when you feel doubt, urgency, or fear, your broadcast becomes noisy. But when you cultivate presence, calm, and trust, your energy field becomes a resonant beacon that begins to shape the probabilities around you. In the next part, we'll look at how this coherent signal interacts with the quantum field and why reality itself seems to reorganize in response to your inner clarity. Now that you understand how coherence refines your internal signal, let's look at where that signal goes and how it reshapes the world around you at the deepest level of existence. Reality isn't solid or fixed. According to quantum physics, everything is energy waves of potential vibrating at different frequencies. Particles, matter, even your body are not static things, but fluctuating fields of probability. And what causes those probabilities to collapse into form? Observation. But here's the part most people miss. In quantum mechanics, observation isn't just about seeing something with your eyes. It's about interaction. Your focused attention, combined with emotion and intention, becomes a type of quantum observation. You're not just witnessing the field, you're influencing it. This is known as the observer effect. The energy you emit, especially when it's coherent and emotionally charged, interacts with the field and organizes possibilities into form. In simpler terms, your inner state determines which version of reality solidifies in front of you. That's why two people can experience the same situation and interpret it in completely different ways, or receive entirely different outcomes. They are tuning into different frequencies and therefore collapsing different probabilities. So, what does this mean for you? It means you are not passively reacting to life. You are actively programming it, moment by moment. Your thoughts and emotions are not isolated internal events. They are energetic commands sent into a responsive field. But remember, the field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. If your energy is fragmented, filled with resistance or urgency, your reality will reflect that chaos. But when you enter a coherent state, when your heart, mind, and body align, you become a precise signal that the field can clearly respond to. This is where synchronicities start showing up. The right person calls, the opportunity appears. Solutions you were chasing suddenly arrive. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's resonance. In the next part, we'll explore how your intentions, when rooted in emotion, attention, and meaning, become the most powerful tool for programming reality. Because it's not about forcing outcomes. It's about becoming a clear, consistent signal in a field that's always listening. By now, you understand that your thoughts and emotions form a signal, but what gives that signal shape and direction? The answer is intention. Intention is not just a passive wish or a vague goal, it's the blueprint you project into the quantum field. When it's fueled by coherence and elevated emotion, intention becomes the organizing force that begins to program reality. Most people misunderstand intention. They think it's about willpower or trying hard to make something happen. But in the quantum sense, intention is not about force, it's about alignment. It's the energetic structure that tells the field, this is the pattern I choose to experience. And here's the key. Intention is a multidimensional signal. It's made of three components: focus, emotion, and meaning. Together, they create a vibrational code that the universe responds to. Let's break it down. First, focus is where your energy goes. Wherever you place your sustained attention, you begin to amplify that possibility in the field. But attention without emotion is weak. That's where the second piece comes in. Emotion. Emotion acts like a carrier wave. It charges your intention, giving it power and magnetic resonance. But there's a third element people often overlook: meaning. The meaning you assign to your desire determines the frequency it carries. Are you chasing something because you feel unworthy without it? That intention is rooted in lack. Are you creating from a place of joy, contribution, or purpose? That intention carries a different energetic weight altogether, even if the outer goal looks the same. This is why two people can set the same goal, let's say, financial success, and receive completely different results. One broadcasts fear, urgency, and a need to prove their worth. The other radiates trust, vision, and expansion. The field responds accordingly. So ask yourself, what's the emotional tone of your intention? Is it based on wholeness or lack? Is it anchored in trust or fear? When you refine the quality of your intention, not just what you want, but why you want it, you begin to broadcast a clear, authentic signal, one that the field not only recognizes, but organizes around. In the next part, we'll explore how this consistent coherence leads to synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, and the effortless unfolding of the reality you've already begun to program. Once your intentions are aligned with emotion and meaning, and your internal state becomes coherent, something fascinating begins to happen. Reality starts to shift. Not always dramatically or overnight, but in subtle, consistent ways that feel too aligned to be coincidence. This is what we call synchronicity. Synchronicities are those meaningful coincidences that feel like the universe is winking back at you. You think of someone and they call. You feel ready for a breakthrough, and the right opportunity appears. These aren't accidents. They're reflections of your signal organizing the quantum field in your favor. Think of the quantum field as a sea of infinite possibilities. Your coherent signal anchored by clear intention acts like a magnet that begins to pull certain probabilities closer. You don't force them into being, you resonate with them. And resonance is far more powerful than control. This is why, when you're in coherence, you stop needing to micromanage every detail of your life. You begin to shift from effort to effortlessness. You no longer chase the outcome. You become the frequency that naturally attracts it. Here's the real beauty of this. You don't have to know exactly how your desires will unfold. You only need to maintain the state of being that matches them. The field handles the rest. The right people, places, and moments begin to entrain to your vibration. This is not New Age fantasy, it's physics. In systems theory, entrainment is the tendency for energy systems to synchronize when exposed to a stronger, more stable signal. You become that stable signal, but this also explains why things seem to stall when you're out of alignment. If your signal is inconsistent, filled with fear, doubt, or urgency, the universe doesn't know what to reflect. You get mixed results because you're sending mixed messages. That's why your primary job is not to control outcomes, but to stabilize your signal, to live as though what you desire is already on its way, and to act from that frequency now. As you do, become normal. The improbable becomes effortless, and you begin to feel like life is not something happening to you, but something happening through you. In the next part, we'll explore the common myths that sabotage this process and how to avoid sending out a distorted signal that blocks your own programming power. As you begin to understand how your thoughts, emotions, and intentions shape your reality, it's natural to feel empowered, but also pressured. Many people fall into common misconceptions that actually weaken their signal and block the flow of synchronicity. These myths create tension, self-doubt, and confusion, exactly the kind of energy that scrambles the field. Let's clear them up. Myth 1. You must think positively all the time. This is one of the most damaging beliefs. Coherence isn't about fake positivities, about honesty and alignment. Suppressing fear or pretending to be grateful when you're actually anxious only creates internal resistance. Real power comes from authentic awareness, acknowledging what you feel and choosing to shift gently and consistently. Myth 2. Affirmations alone can reprogram reality. Words are powerful, but only when backed by coherent emotion. You can repeat, "I am worthy," 1,000 times. But if your body is contracted in self-doubt, the field picks up that tension, not the affirmation. The key is to slow down and feel. Even a small moment of genuine openness is stronger than empty repetition. Myth 3. You need to visualize every detail perfectly. Trying to control every step of your manifestation process pulls you out of presence and into force. The universe doesn't need a detailed storyboard, needs a clear frequency. What matters isn't the precision of your vision, but the emotional signature you consistently embody. Myth 4. If things go wrong, you failed. Life will still present challenges even when you're in coherence. These aren't signs you're doing it wrong. They're invitations to deepen your alignment. The field doesn't punish you, it mirrors you. Use obstacles as checkpoints, not stop signs. Myth 5. You must control every thought. Your mind produces thousands of thoughts daily. Trying to monitor all of them is exhausting. What matters is your dominant emotional frequency, the state you return to most often. A few stray doubts won't derail your signal if your baseline is trust and openness. Letting go of these myths creates space for a new kind of power, one rooted not in control but in clarity. When you stop trying to perfect your outer actions and instead stabilize your inner world, your reality begins to change almost effortlessly. In the next part, we'll guide you through a powerful exercise to anchor this coherence and turn insight into transformation. You now understand that your thoughts, emotions, and intentions emit a signal that interacts with the quantum field. But knowledge alone isn't enough. To truly program reality, you must move from theory into embodied practice. This is where everything shifts, not through force, but through repeated alignment with the state you want to live in. The key is coherence. And coherence isn't a concept, it's a physiological experience you can feel. It shows up as a calm, focused presence, a steady breath, a body that's open instead of tense, a heart that radiates clarity instead of chaos. So let's begin with a simple but powerful exercise designed to bring your heart, mind, and body into sync. You can do this any time before a big decision, during moments of stress, or simply to realign your energy. Start by sitting comfortably. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it and gently exhale through your mouth. Do this again, slowing your breath, letting each exhale last longer than the inhale. Now bring your awareness to the center of your chest. Visualize a soft light glowing their gentle pulse, like your heartbeat in light form. With each breath, imagine this light growing stronger, warmer, more stable. Now introduce a feeling of gratitude, not a forced thought, but something real. It could be for a person, a moment of peace, or simply the ability to choose presence right now. Let that feeling spread from your heart to your entire body. Next, ask yourself, what would it feel like if I trusted that my signal is being received? Not in words, but in sensation, openness, lightness, a quiet sense of alignment. This is coherence. This is you programming the field, not by trying harder, but by becoming the frequency that matches the reality you choose. You don't need to stay in this state forever. You just need to remember how to return to it. The more you practice, the more familiar it becomes, the more your outer world begins to align with the vibration you hold within. In the final part, we'll explore how to build a sustainable life from this state of coherence so that programming reality becomes not a practice, but a way of being. You've now seen how your thoughts, emotions, and intentions form an energetic signal that interacts with the quantum field. You've learned how coherence alignment between heart, mind, and body turns your signal into a powerful, organizing force. But the final piece is perhaps the most important of all: integration. Because none of this matters if it stays in your mind as theory. The real transformation happens when coherence becomes your way of being, not just in meditation, but in everyday life. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about staying in a state of bliss or peace all the time. Life will still present uncertainty, noise, and challenge. But now, you have the tools to meet it all differently. You've trained yourself to return to your center, to recognize when your signal is scrambled and to bring it back into clarity. The gap between stimulus and reaction begins to widen. You respond instead of react. You pause instead of panic. You trust instead of grasp. And in doing so, you begin to stabilize a new frequency, one that life starts to mirror back with increasing consistency. Maybe that looks like unexpected opportunities, aligned relationships, or moments of ease in places where you used to struggle. Or maybe it shows up quietly at first, feeling more calm in your body, less urgency in your mind, more meaning in your days. Don't dismiss these subtle signs. They are evidence that you're no longer just living by default, you're broadcasting by design. And here's the truth: your signal matters more than you know. The universe has always been responding. It's not a distant force to chase or convince. It's a living, intelligent field that reflects what you're being, not what you're wishing for. So ask yourself now, what frequency am I committed to living from? Not occasionally, but consistently. What does it feel like to trust my own resonance? The more you return to coherence, the more natural it becomes. You're not here to chase reality. You're here to code it from within. Keep practicing, keep observing, and most of all, keep remembering. You are the signal. You are the program. You are the code.